You ever have one of those moments where something just clicks? You're thinking of someone and suddenly they text you. You're struggling with a problem and the exact answer appears in a book you randomly picked up. You're walking down the street lost in thought and then, boom, a billboard, a song, a stranger's words, something in your environment perfectly aligns with what's on your mind. It's almost like the universe is speaking to you. But here's the crazy part. What if it actually is? Most people brush these moments off as coincidences. But what if I told you that nothing is random? What if there's a hidden structure behind reality, a deeper intelligence weaving together the events of your life in ways you can't even begin to comprehend? This is synchronicity, and once you understand how it works, you'll never see reality the same way again.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in psychology, noticed something strange. His patients would often describe dreams, visions, or thoughts that mysteriously manifested in their real lives. He had a patient who dreamed of a golden scarab, and the next day a golden beetle, a rare sight, flew into his office. He had another patient who kept seeing the number 22 everywhere, and later found out that a major life-changing event had happened on the 22nd of the month. Jung realized that these weren't just random events. They were meaningful patterns, hidden connections between the inner world of the mind and the outer world of reality. Think about that for a second. What if your thoughts, emotions, and desires are entangled with the events of your life? What if reality isn't just something happening to you, but something you're subtly influencing, shaping, and co-creating? Here's where things get even crazier. Scientists are beginning to confirm what ancient mystics and philosophers have been saying for centuries. Consciousness affects reality. In quantum physics, experiments have shown that the act of observation changes the behavior of particles. In other words, your awareness alters the fabric of reality itself. But what does this mean for you? It means that your thoughts, your emotions, your attention might be shaping the events of your life in ways you don't even realize. Ever notice that when you're focused on something, you start seeing it everywhere? You buy a red car and suddenly the streets are filled with red cars. You start learning a new word and suddenly you hear it in every conversation. This isn't just your brain filtering information, it's something deeper. Now let's push this idea even further. What if synchronicity isn't just about small coincidences, but a roadmap to your destiny? What if the universe is constantly whispering clues, nudging you towards certain paths, certain people, certain choices? What if every single event in your life, every setback, every success, every heartbreak, was intricately connected, designed to guide you towards something greater? Most people ignore these signs. They're too busy, too skeptical, too caught up in their routines to notice the hidden messages all around them. But the people who truly master life, the visionaries, the artists, the great thinkers, they pay attention, they listen, they follow the breadcrumbs the universe leaves behind. Steve Jobs once said, "You can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking backward." This is the essence of synchronicity. When you're in the middle of life, things seem random, chaotic, meaningless. But later, when you look back, you realize that every single event was leading you somewhere, that the hardships, the failures, the strange encounters were all pieces of a bigger puzzle. So let me ask you, what if nothing in your life has been an accident? What if you are exactly where you need to be, but you just haven't realized it yet? Think back to a moment in your life when something unexpected happened. Maybe you met someone who changed your path. Maybe you stumbled upon an idea that shifted your mindset. Maybe a tragedy forced you to grow in ways you never imagined. What if that moment wasn't random? What if it was part of a bigger design? A synchronicity meant to shape your journey. Here's where things get really deep. If synchronicity is real, if reality is communicating with you, then the question becomes, are you listening? Most people aren't. They go through life asleep, unaware of the patterns, the messages, the signals constantly surrounding them. But once you wake up to it, once you start paying attention, something incredible happens. The more you notice synchronicities, the more they happen. The more you acknowledge them, the more they intensify. It's as if reality responds to your awareness, as if the universe is saying, yes, you're on the right path, keep going. This is why some people seem to have an almost magical ability to be in the right place at the right time. They're not lucky, they're aligned. They've learned to trust the flow of life, to follow the signs, to act on intuition, even when it doesn't make logical sense. But here's the problem. Most people are too afraid to trust synchronicity. They dismiss it, they doubt it, they cling to logic and control. But what if logic isn't always the answer? What if the greatest breakthroughs, the greatest discoveries, the greatest moments of your life can't be planned? They have to be felt. Think about this. How many times in your life have you forced something to happen only to watch it fall apart? And how many times have you let go, trusted, and suddenly things just fell into place? Synchronicity isn't about sitting back and waiting for life to happen. It's about co-creating with the universe. It's about setting an intention, taking action, and then being open to the unexpected ways life responds. It's about recognizing that sometimes the detours, the delays, the disruptions, they're not obstacles, they're directions. But here's the real secret. Synchronicity isn't something that just happens to you. You can actually increase it. You can make your life a constant dance of meaningful coincidences. And it all starts with awareness. Step 1. Pay attention. Start noticing patterns, repeating numbers, strange alignments. Start keeping a journal of synchronicities, no matter how small. The more you acknowledge them, the more they'll appear. Step 2. Follow your intuition. If something feels right, even if it doesn't make sense, explore it. If a person, an opportunity, a decision pulls you, don't ignore it. Step 3. Let go of control. Stop trying to force life to go in a straight line. Synchronicity thrives in flow, not resistance. The more you surrender, the more life will surprise you in ways you never imagined. Step 4. Align your energy, your thoughts, your emotions, your mindset. They are constantly shaping your reality. If you focus on negativity, you will attract chaos. If you focus on possibility, you will attract synchronicity. So let me ask you, what if your life could be filled with meaning, magic, and perfect timing, but the only thing stopping you is your own disbelief? Think about that, because once you open your mind to synchronicity, once you start seeing the hidden intelligence behind reality, you will never live the same way again. If synchronicity is real, if reality is constantly communicating with you through signs, patterns, and perfectly timed events, then the real question becomes, who or what is behind it? Is it just your subconscious mind filtering information in a way that makes it seem meaningful? Or is there something deeper, something guiding you toward a greater purpose? Most people assume that life is random, that events unfold without meaning, that we are just moving through a chaotic universe where things happen by chance. But what if randomness is an illusion? What if behind the surface of reality there is an invisible order, a structure that connects everything in ways we cannot see. Think about the way nature operates. A single seed contains the blueprint for an entire tree. A tiny strand of DNA holds the instructions to shape a human being. The planets move in perfect alignment, governed by invisible forces of gravity and motion. Nothing in nature is truly random. It all follows a deeper intelligence. Now, if nature has an underlying order, why would your life be any different? What if your thoughts, emotions, and actions are also woven into this grand design, influencing the way reality unfolds around you? The ancient Greeks believed in the concept of the Logos, a hidden intelligence that structures the universe. Eastern philosophy speaks of Tao, the natural flow that everything follows. Modern science, from quantum physics to chaos theory, points to the idea that small actions can have massive, unpredictable consequences. Everywhere we look, we find hints that reality is not as rigid or as mechanical as we once thought. It bends, it responds, it adapts in ways that are eerily similar to the way a living organism would. But here's where things get even more interesting. If synchronicity is real, then it means that time itself is not what we think it is. We assume that time moves in a straight line from past to present to future. But what if time is more like a web, where events in the future ripple backward, influencing the present? What if synchronicities are moments where time folds, where the future whispers clues to the present? Have you ever made a decision that felt strangely inevitable, as if it had already been determined before you even made it? Have you ever met someone and instantly felt like you were supposed to know them, like your paths were always meant to cross? These are the moments when we glimpse the deeper nature of reality. These are the moments when we realize that perhaps free will and destiny are not opposites but two sides of the same coin. You are constantly making choices, shaping your path, but at the same time there is a greater pattern unfolding, one that you can't always see until you look back. This is why people who follow synchronicity tend to live extraordinary lives. They don't just move blindly through life, making decisions based on fear, logic, or what seems practical. They tune into something higher. They trust the signals. They listen to intuition. They allow themselves to be guided by a force that cannot be measured, but can be deeply felt. Have you ever noticed that the people who seem to be in the right place at the right time, the ones who effortlessly attract opportunities, the ones who always seem to know exactly what to do next, have a different way of thinking? They don't try to control everything. They don't get stuck in overanalyzing every decision. They move with a sense of flow, as if they are dancing with life rather than trying to dominate it. This is the key to unlocking synchronicity in your own life. The more you try to force things, the more you block the natural flow of events. The more you resist change, the more you create friction. But the moment you surrender, the moment you open yourself up to possibilities beyond what your logical mind can predict, things start aligning. Have you ever been stuck in a situation that seemed impossible, only for a sudden opportunity or a chance encounter to change everything? Have you ever been lost, unsure of what to do next, when suddenly an unexpected sign pointed you in the right direction? These are not accidents. These are moments where the deeper intelligence of reality steps in. But here's the paradox. Synchronicity doesn't work when you are desperately looking for it. The more you chase it, the more it eludes you. Why? Because desperation is rooted in fear, and fear blocks the flow of synchronicity. The key is to cultivate trust. Trust that what is meant for you will find you. Trust that even when things seem chaotic, There is an unseen order at play. Trust that every detour, every delay, every unexpected turn is part of a greater path that you may not fully understand yet. This is why ancient spiritual traditions emphasize surrender, not as a form of passivity, but as a way of aligning yourself with the natural intelligence of the universe. When you surrender, you stop fighting against the current. You stop trying to force reality to conform to your limited expectations. You open yourself to possibilities that you couldn't have planned. Think of your life as a massive puzzle. You only have a handful of pieces right now. You can try to force them together based on what makes sense in the moment, or you can trust that more pieces will appear when the time is right. The more you trust, the more synchronicities guide you, bringing you the right people, the right ideas, the right opportunities, exactly when you need them. But how do you know if you're truly aligned with synchronicity? There's one simple test. When you are in alignment, life feels effortless. It doesn't mean there are no challenges, but even the challenges feel meaningful. Even the setbacks feel like they are teaching you something valuable. You feel a sense of flow, where things happen naturally instead of through struggle. You begin to notice patterns. You begin to see connections that others miss. You begin to feel a deep sense that you are exactly where you need to be. But here's the part most people don't realize. Synchronicity is not just about luck or fate or mysterious forces. It is a skill. It is something you can develop, something you can strengthen by the way you choose to live. The first step is awareness. Start paying attention to the moments when things align in unexpected ways. Write them down, reflect on them. The more you acknowledge synchronicities, the more they happen. The second step is intuition. Learn to trust your gut feelings, your inner nudges, the subtle sense that something is right even when it doesn't make logical sense. The third step is action. Synchronicity thrives when you take action, when you move toward your goals with openness rather than rigid expectations. The fourth step is detachment. Stop obsessing over outcomes. The more you try to force things, the more resistance you create. The more you trust, the more effortlessly things fall into place. So let me ask you, what if the life you were meant to live is already unfolding, but you've been too busy doubting, resisting, or second-guessing to see it? What if your greatest breakthroughs, your most profound experiences, your most meaningful encounters are not ahead of you, but already happening, waiting for you to wake up and recognize them? Because once you truly understand synchronicity, once you start seeing the hidden design behind your experiences, you will never move through life the same way again. If you've made it this far, it means something inside you is waking up. You're beginning to see that life is not just a series of random events. You're starting to understand that everything, every choice, every encounter, every so-called accident contains meaning, patterns, and hidden connections. But now comes the most important question of all. What do you do with this knowledge? Because it's one thing to understand synchronicity, it's another thing entirely to use it, to align yourself with it, to let it guide you toward a life of deeper purpose, greater flow, and effortless success. Most people resist synchronicity because they are trapped in a mindset of control. They believe that life must be planned, that every step must be carefully calculated, that success only comes through hard work and struggle. But what if that's not true? What if the most successful, fulfilled people in the world aren't the ones who force life to happen, but the ones who surrender to its natural rhythm? What if the key to unlocking everything you've ever wanted isn't pushing harder but learning how to listen. Have you ever noticed that when you try to force something, whether it's a relationship, a job, a goal, it often backfires? And yet when you let go, when you stop obsessing, when you allow things to unfold naturally, the right opportunities, the right people, the right answers seem to appear effortlessly. This isn't luck. This is alignment. This is what happens when you stop resisting the flow of life and start working with it. But here's where things get even more powerful. Synchronicity doesn't just guide you, it actually reshapes your reality. The more you acknowledge it, the more it increases. The more you trust it, the more it leads you exactly where you need to be. Imagine living a life where you don't have to second-guess every decision, where you don't have to struggle or chase or force things to happen. Imagine waking up every day knowing that you are supported, that life is guiding you, that the right opportunities will come, not because you control them, but because you are in the right state of mind to receive them. This is the secret that almost no one understands. Synchronicity is not about waiting for signs, it's about becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts them. It's about shifting your energy, your mindset, your entire way of being so that life begins to unfold in your favor. And the way you do that is through three things: awareness, trust, and action. First, awareness. You must begin to notice the patterns in your life. Pay attention to the repeating numbers, the strange coincidences, the people who show up at exactly the right moment. Write them down, reflect on them. The more you acknowledge synchronicities, the more they appear. It's like tuning a radio. The more you dial into the right frequency, the clearer the signal becomes. Second, trust. This is where most people fail. They see synchronicities, but they don't trust them. They doubt, they question, they let fear get in the way. But if you don't trust the signs, you block the flow. Life is constantly guiding you, but you have to be willing to follow, even when it doesn't make logical sense. If a new opportunity presents itself, if a person enters your life, if a door opens unexpectedly, trust that it's happening for a reason. Third, action. Synchronicity is not about passively waiting for life to happen, it's about co-creating with the universe. You must take steps toward what you want, even if they are small. The key is to move forward without forcing, to act without attachment, to pursue your goals while remaining open to unexpected possibilities. The more you take action, the more synchronicity accelerates, because life rewards movement. But here's the part most people never realize. Synchronicity is not just about external events. It's also about your inner world. The thoughts you think, the emotions you feel, the energy you carry, all of these shape the way reality responds to you. If you are constantly stressed, fearful, or negative, you block synchronicity. If you are open, grateful, and in a state of curiosity, synchronicity flows naturally. Think of it like this. Imagine you are standing in a river. If you fight against the current, if you struggle and resist, you exhaust yourself. But if you relax, if you trust the flow, the river carries you effortlessly. Life works the same way. The more you resist, the harder things become. The more you trust, the easier everything gets. This is why some people seem to have an effortless, almost magical ability to attract success, love, and opportunities, while others struggle endlessly. They are not luckier, they are simply more aligned with the flow of life. So how do you apply this to your own life? Start by shifting your perspective. Start seeing obstacles as problems. Start seeing them as redirections. Every closed door is guiding you toward a better one. Every failure is a lesson that is preparing you for something greater. Every unexpected delay is protecting you from something you weren't meant to experience. The universe is always working in your favor, but you have to be willing to see it. Next, practice letting go of attachment to outcomes. The biggest mistake people make is thinking that life must unfold in a specific way. They set rigid goals. They create strict timelines. They become obsessed with controlling every detail. And when things don't go according to their plan, they panic. But what if your plan is too small? What if life has something far greater in store for you, but you're too focused on your limited vision to see it? Let go. Trust that what is meant for you will find you. Trust that if something doesn't work out, it's because something better is coming. Finally, cultivate a state of gratitude and presence. The more grateful you are, the more synchronicity flows into your life. Why? Because gratitude shifts your energy. It tells the universe, I am aware. I see the gifts around me. I trust the process. And when you trust, life responds. You begin to notice the small miracles, the quiet nudges, the little moments of magic that others overlook. So, let me ask you, what if the greatest secret to living an extraordinary life isn't about working harder, but about seeing more clearly? What if synchronicity is not just a rare phenomenon, but a constant force that has been guiding you all along? What if the answers you've been searching for, the opportunities you've been chasing, the clarity you've been longing for have been right in front of you, waiting for you to wake up and recognize them? Because here's the truth. The universe is always speaking to you. The question is, are you listening? Once you start seeing the patterns, once you start aligning yourself with the flow of life, you will never move through the world the same way again. You will stop doubting, you will stop forcing, you will stop struggling against the current. Instead, you will move with ease, with clarity, with a deep sense of knowing that you are exactly where you are meant to be. And when that happens, life stops feeling like a fight. It starts feeling like a dance. It starts feeling like a conversation with something far greater than yourself. And in that moment, you realize that synchronicity was never something outside of you. It was always a reflection of you.